My name is Kristen Buhager, and I am from the Beverly Hills Community Services Department, and we are excited to introduce our viewers to the incredible mixed media artist, glass artist, and sculptor, Scott Slagerman, and he will share his studio with sculpture professor and furniture designer, Adam Teraoka.
Thank you so much, Kristen, and I wanted to thank Ajane and Karen for having us and having me, and it's always a pleasure and authentically an honor to help with the Beverly Hills Art Show every year. So Scott, this is it's been a pleasure for me in the last couple of weeks to get to really kind of see the insides of the inner workings of your shop and how you work and your process and your incredible sculptures. Can you take us around your studio and so we could have a look?
I'm really happy to invite everybody into the studio. Somebody's car alarm just went off. I'm going to quickly take you outside and to show you the building and then take you through. I apologize for the alarm, but it'll only be a second. Anyway, I'm in Inglewood. I'm in downtown Inglewood, and this is the studio that I work in. It's a building right in the central part of Inglewood, right next to the famous Woody's Barbecue. I put some water pieces out here. This was the first body of work that I was doing when I came back from France. And then let me bring you into the studio. I've been working on a mixture of wood and glass and how wood and glass combines. And that has taken me on a journey to discover the different types of wood around California, what we grow here, and a lot of the history of the agriculture in California. And so Indian rosewood is a type of wood that I use, and it's native to the desert, to Palm Desert, Palm Springs, those very dry areas. It doesn't grow very large. So this is kind of the wood pile that I have, the wood stock that I have that I go through. And a lot of it is made up of walnut, California walnut, which comes mostly from Central Valley, California, where over the last 150 years, we've been planting English walnut and grafting black walnut to the top of the trees. And most of this isn't being done anymore. So a lot of this English walnut is becoming extinct because of the drought and farmers pulling the trees. So it's actually quite rare now, but it is native to California, and I'm getting it with a lot of the mills, the artisanal mills up and down the state. This is carob. This is also grows in California, Texas. It's a native. This is very important part of the pile. This is a part of a tree that had burned in the Woolsey fire, and the only thing left of the house was this tree. And so I've got these pieces, and I'm making artwork with them. And I think that's a very important kind of aspect of blowing the glass into the wood and using fire to bring something back to life. And it was fire that destroyed this house. And there's a story there. This is Fiji. This comes from Fiji. This is Monkey Pod. This studio here is not the studio that I work at, the glass blowing. This is where I assemble everything. I draw everything. This area here is where I do all the drawing and the cutting and finishing of the wood. So these pieces right here are being finished. This is a piece of glass that gets fitted into there. These are all pieces of glass that were blown and being fitted into the finished wood. A lot of things that come out of the process are the cutouts. So I get a lot of these cutouts from the center of the wood, and we've started making them into finished pieces as well because they're just so beautiful. This is a piece that I just finished blowing glass into, and you can see how it's so charred on the outside the wood, and this is before I finish it, but some of the charring on it is actually really, really cool. And I try to leave that in my work to tell the story about where, you know, what happened here in the process. But I'm displaying my art in here this morning. And these are some of the first pieces that I was doing. With the wood in the glass series was how to interlock the wood in the glass. This is branching out into marble and glass. And then these are some of the first pieces. And then these, during the process, I blow the glass and I line into the wood, but I also line the outside of the wood with paper, and this is paper, and these are the first time I'm showing these. I call them fire print. What I've done is I've taken them and then using watercolor, gold leaf, inks, I've layered them up. And that's the actual paper that was lining the mold. I will show you some of the finished. This is our little gallery, and you can see these are the hearts, and these were designed by my wife and I. So these are some of the other pieces. These are very important. These are the Ocean Plastic Project. These are pieces that I designed while I was in Thailand surfing, and this is all the ocean plastic that washed up on the beach. And these are all lighters that I found, and they're put on with magnets on the outside. So this piece is filled with water, and the lighters are hooked on, and I blew little glass flames here to connect to the outside. So this is called Water on Fire. And this piece is called Stranded. And it's all the bottle caps you can see in Thai. And there's a fish that is stranded beneath the plastic. And so these are the more large sculptural pieces. And this one is called Intersection. It's walnut and glass. This is Amethyst Star. This one is called Aqua Amphora. And this is in monkey pod in the amphora shape, which is historically very classical to the first shapes in blown in glass. And then this is a very large sculptural piece. This is over 7 feet tall. This is a piece of from Costa Rica called Teraoka. It's in the same family as the monkey pod that you saw. It's just grown. It grows in Hawaii, Fiji, Costa Rica, Thailand. And that's it. And this is my wife, and she helped me design. This is Papang, and she helped make a lot of this and designed the heart pieces.
Scott, thank you. That was a nice, beautiful, concise trip through your studio. I'm wondering if, you know, maybe we can go all the way back to the beginning, your roots in France. Could you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, I'd spent many years in France. I was doing some work very much like the water pieces from that you saw outside, but without the water. And so I was doing a lot of production, and I wanted to change what the type of art that I was doing from this larger scale production to more unique pieces and with a little more substance. And I kind of veer away from design for a while and work on artwork. So the types of pieces that I was doing in France were these water pieces. So they have a lot of movement, they have a lot of flow. The two elements in the water and the glass was derived from just working in the studio and seeing the elements together. And that's how a lot of my work is made.
I noticed that, I mean, your work looks so spectacular outdoors. I was wondering, do you make work that can be outdoors, perhaps like public sculpture?
No, absolutely. Actually, all of my work can be outdoors. All the glass and water pieces can be outdoors. I'm sure you guys are all familiar with Chihuli's work, but the glass gardens, glass can be outdoors for years and years. They find it at the bottom of the ocean after centuries. And we think of it as such a fragile medium, but yet, glass is, on the front of your car, it's on the front of the space shuttle. It's a very durable material. And as far as the wood goes, I finish it for both. I finish both for both indoors and outdoors. But the wood does have to be finished differently for outdoor.
I really, really like the turn it took when you started incorporating, the plastics. Because in a sense, looking at your work, you took a risk in, incorporating essentially what's, junk, and then putting it in with these really finished, really kind of polished and beautiful pieces.
I don't think I felt so much of it as a risk. It was really more excitement when it had finally clicked that this is what I was going to do. As we discussed before, I've been surfing quite a bit. That's been a big part of my life in the last few years. And everywhere that I've been surfing, the devastation in plastics in the ocean have just been undeniable. And so I really couldn't figure out for so long how I could incorporate this into my work in a way that would be super meaningful. And now, especially, I really feel it's so important that every little voice and every little direction should be done and should be made. I think it was more excitement to do it. And I guess there was a little bit of, nervousness. Then after I made them, I was like, wow, okay, these are really beautiful in a really scary way.
Right. The incorporating, technology and, sort of melding it with such a natural material. I completely admire how it came out. That sort of runs into the next question, and that is there's kind of the heart symbolism and just the natural quality of the materials. What other narratives do you have that kind of like lie beneath, these very sort of natural and very like simple forms? Is there like a political axe to grind? What are you saying, big picture?
There definitely is, actually. I think that it's really hard for anybody to sit by right now after what's been going on this last year and not try to speak up or do something. Somehow using these pieces, using these heart pieces as well as the ocean plastic pieces, I intend to hook up with foundations that are doing something and being able to contribute money to those foundations and hope to help in that way.
This is just a comment. I think what I've narrowed it down to, or what I like most about it, is that the wood itself has this sort of very earthly, very worldly sort of feel, and the glass sort of has this otherworldly feel. And I feel like it's that contrast that's what works, right? And and I mentioned this to you before, but I think your displays outdoor are perfect. The design is perfect. The lighting is very, very natural for your work. And so let's see if we can answer any questions.
So we do have a question about how did you eventually make art your full-time career?
When I was very young, about 16, 17, I was very interested in art and glass and was attracted to the materials. And I was very fortunate to start working with people that were very advanced in the American glass movement. And I just kind of knew right away, like, I just want to do this all the time. And it's been the same sort of inspiring passion since the beginning till now.
Do you have like an estimate about how long it takes you to make each piece?
With the glass and wood, which has been very nice, wood has brought me to this other level of working. And so you have to have a lot of patience and you can't skip steps. And so, a piece that I'm working on can take A smaller piece can take a week. Larger pieces can take a couple months.
Besides glass and wood, is there any other material that you love to work with or that you're considering working with in the future?
I happen to be sitting in front of one of my favorite pieces, which is this piece of marble and glass. And this piece, actually, the way it works is it actually comes out of the piece and can actually be set in front. And I think one of the very important aspects of my work is that this was all done using computer-aided technology. So I draw all this up in CAD and CAD software, and this is all water jet cut. So I'm combining this, very high-tech mediums with very traditional glass blowing. And these were all drawn in CAD, and so both the wood and the glass are cut out using water jet and put together. So these are very architectural and a very, very different technology. And then I realized that I could blow glass into this. So then that led me to realize that I could, do this using other materials. And so that led me to this porcelain and glass piece. And the way that was done was by using, I build a mold, which is exact replica of the piece, and then blow another piece of glass. So both of these pieces fit perfectly into that piece of porcelain. So I'm also using cement and metal and those types of materials.
Your work is beautiful. So thank you so much for taking the time to show us around your studio. And Adam, thank you for joining us.
I just wanted to express my gratitude, to the Beverly Hills Art Show. It's something I look forward to every year. And it's just kind of like Beverly Hills in that area is like a kind of a blind spot for me in the world. So this is a really nice entree into that section of the town.
I really want to express my gratitude as well to Karen and Keith and all of you who run the show. I really want to say how happy I am to have everyone in the studio this morning. It's an honor. I really hope to see you guys in the spring. I hope that we can have a show in the spring. And I want to thank you guys all really very much for having me.